It was intended to recognize the 70th year of the Organization of the North Atlantic Treaty. But in London, the atmosphere was anything but celebratory at a gathering of the alliance leaders this week. NATO's deep, even existential, issues were not disguised. None demonstrated this tension other than NATO's quick elation for Donald Trump's unexpected coalition support. Having a heart switch, maybe things weren't so bad after all, if the American president, formerly a NATO skeptic. Except that Trump didn't have a heart switch. His defense of the coalition was only a stick to beat French President Emmanuel Macron, which had earlier mourned the brain death for the institution. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, and was brilliant in the management of Trump, and in relaxing the conniption fit of the president and tickling his ego, must also be creditable. Witness Stoltenberg's pledge to lend Trump a major increase in military expenses by several leaders at a joint press conference. It has a significant impact on your governance on security expenditure, he said. But the suspicion for Trump came to light once more early. He has carpeted Germany's mischievous defense expenditures, imposed embargoes towards representatives of the North Atlantic Treaty who will not pony up, and recommitted to Article 5, the all-for-one provision, that involves the group's help for each member under attack. President is president, it's probable for him, rather than the pea shooter he held in London, to appear at a new NATO meeting with a flamethrower. And not even Stoltenberg's diplomatic skills can conceal its core problems, both philosophical and practical, that confound the ally. Those go to NATO's past spasms of a breakup, including the retraction of France from the unified military leadership in 1966, the occupation of Cyprus in Turkey in 1974 and the conflict with Greece. One huge reason NATO's common courtesy of the danger posed by the Soviet Union, and, more recently, Russia has been placed together during 70 years. But this is now really accepted by the main alliance members. Turkey is purchasing Moscow weapons, particularly missile defense systems, that challenge the security of NATO. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is more wary of the actions of America than of Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin was comfortable with Trump. In the best of cases, Macron is conflicted. There is also no debate on the other Western warnings: terrorist attacks, cyber warfare, China. Turkey and France have each other criticized themselves of supporting terrorists. The divisions over Russia jeopardize the capacity of the coalition to protect against cyber threats. And some NATO members regard China as a source of money, rather than a threat. Even though most member countries accept which poses a serious threat, that assumption that NATO is the strongest defense does not necessarily follow. Cyber warfare needs broader, more sensitive solutions than the coalition can use, and counter-terrorism needed fast, versatile answers. This is not the kind thing left to a massive global organization. A North Pacific Treaty Organization, that would only play a vital role for the European military, could be necessary to deal with China. It does not mean that NATO is out of the question. It is equally important, because it was founded. Moscow's powerful risk. It will take far more than Stoltenberg's negotiating insanity to get all participants to understand it and act appropriately. The highest-ranking members must take extreme control. Everything said or written about such management in London this year has been at hand. Bobby Gosh is a journalist, a part of the editorial of Bloomberg Opinion. He reports on international affairs with particular attention to the Middle East and the larger Muslim world.